Hello, welcome everyone to the very first Fortnite live stream show. My name is KL Smith. I'm one of the community managers here at Epic Games, and I'm joined by Natalie Brickle, who's also one of the community managers. How you doing, Natalie?
Doing good. Very
good.
excited to show Fortnite.
I know, I'm very anxious, excited, a little nervous. We also have our special dev guest, executive producer, Tanya Watson.
Yeah,
How you doing, Tanya?
I'm great.
All right, sweet, sweet. So, for all the new people out there, if this is your first time viewing Fortnite, maybe you've seen some of our gameplay up on YouTube, or you've seen it from some other sites or whatnot. We wanted to kind of introduce you all to the game again. So we have Tanya here. She's going to talk a little bit about kind of the vision of Fortnite, and we're going to talk also about the game experience, and then we're going to end it. Well, not quite end it, but we're going to show some gameplay as well, some live gameplay from our current OT2 build. The pre-alpha builds have been around for, we've been doing Storm Chaser events for about a year or so before we actually started our OT.
Yep.
Yeah, in CE, which were several pre-alpha builds. Then we did Storm Chaser events where we got quite a few people that we went and met face-to-face to kind of have them in the game and talk about it. From one of those events, we actually had someone that came to an event and then sent in some chocolates from the OT1 build.
Gourmet chocolate.
Yes.
Oh, that's
yes.
awesome.
This is like his hobby.
So we wanted to show these.
they're so pretty.
We're not going to eat them, but we wanted to kind of show them. Here's a
What?
box
We
of
eat-
chocolates.
we're not gonna
Oh,
eat 'em?
Well, Natalie
okay.
can eat some.
Natalie wants to eat
I
one.
will actually do that right now.
Okay, so we
I'll
got some
report
Fortnite
back.
chocolates from one of the players in OT.
Oh.
Is it delicious?
Delicious. It looks delicious. Ganache. Okay. All right. Oh yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
See, now I
I'm
have
gonna
to have
take that
one.
back.
Thank you so
I'm gonna
Okay.
put
much.
this.
Everyone is
Yeah.
eating one.
Yes, thank you, Alex. This is amazing.
Alex was at our Storm Chaser event here in Raleigh, right?
Yeah, he
Mhm.
was.
And
So-
out at PAX East, I believe.
Okay.
I think that's when we first met him in person.
And then we flew him down here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Alex. They are very, very good. um, so the OT1 online, the very first online test was in December. And I'm sure a lot of people probably haven't heard the phrase online test. So can you
Yeah.
kind of explain, Tanya, what the online test one was and what that means for OT2?
Yeah, so well basically the whole reason we're doing the online tests, and we apologize to all of those guys that are out there waiting for codes that are trying to get in. I mean, the reality is that right now we want to make Fortnite as best of a game as possible, and this is the first time we're publishing something like this ourselves. Like, we're not just developing it, we're publishing it, we're distributing it, we're building the back-end services. And we really want to make sure that we can fail with like the smallest audience possible so that we can fix it and continue to iterate on it that way and make it really, really, really good, so that when we have a whole bunch of people in, you know, things can be relatively stable and good. And certainly before we ever charge money, we want to make sure that stuff is really good. So once again, I apologize to everyone who hasn't gotten a code yet, but we're letting more and more people in with each test.
Yep.
And as soon as we feel good about stability, we'll be making it more broad. So
And for this online test, we actually have been doing giveaways, so
yes.
it's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
little
and so-
last chance action for some people. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'll be there'll be more and more and more. Yes.
So we've been working on Fortnite for quite some time, Tanya. Can you kind of give some insight into basically the vision of Fortnite and the collective fuel around the game for a lot
Yeah.
of people on the team?
Yeah. Oh no, my microphone. It's live set, guys, live set. So yeah, so I won't move too much. I was gonna like
You're
Oh, yeah,
anchored. I have the
position.
same problem.
turn
with you.
towards you. So when we were first making Fortnite, like the thing that we all talked about that we really wanted to recreate that feeling of was what it was like. You know, everyone has a different story about when they were kids and they had that pillow fort like in their house, or like me, my family has we kind of grew up near the water, and so I had a driftwood fort that I grew up with, and like that feeling of going out into the woods and like finding that thing, you know, after searching it over and over again, and one day something new, you know, you come upon something new and you bring it back to your fort, and now you can, you know, build the window or have the extra ammo that you need to defend against your friends that would try to attack your fort every day. And
Right.
and that was kind of like the early days of like what it meant to play Fortnite. And then it grew and grew. Like once we really established that core kind of like game and how that meant to scavenge the world, build the forts and defend them against creatures. It became, okay, now what does that mean? What type of worlds are we uncovering? What kind of enemies are we encountering? What do we do along the way? And then it's grown and grown into what we have now.
Okay.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So what can you tell us about, obviously the main mode that we are featuring right now is with the gate capture.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more in depth about what the gate capture is like, what that gameplay experience is?
Yeah, so gate capture is actually just one of our types of objectives that you have in Fortnite, where the purpose is to go into the world and find these gates, and the gates attract the storms that bring the enemies, and so you have to close them down so that you close their portal into the world pretty much. And so by doing that, you have to go in and survey your environment, figure out where the gates are, especially in proximity to all the things around, if they're up in the air or if there's multiple, gates in the same zone, and you have to plan out your defense. How are you going to build it? Figure out what you need to do that, and then defend it against the creatures when they come and try to attack you. So if you can survive, then you'll win and then get the reward for doing so.
Cool.
Yeah.
So it seems like there's like 3 core elements to the Fortnite experience. Can you talk about them individually, lay them out for us?
Well, well, not the first, but one of the key things is all about scavenging the environment. We wanted to make sure that our environments are procedurally generated, and we wanted to make sure that they not only felt living and vibrant and interesting, but like places you'd actually really want to discover and explore and find cool stuff in. So the types of things you might find are special weapons or tools or ammo or crafting ingredients or resources that you need to build your base. But that's like the first big thing that you'll do is like try to build a tool that you need to build your base, or craft traps that you can place as defense.
Right.
The second big thing of Fortnite is all about building. And so as you can see, we've got these forts in the world as well as crafting and all these things. So you get all these ingredients so that you can decide how you want to tackle the encounter and build up your base. Do you want to have multiple rooms? Do you want to have tunnels of doom? Do you want to have lots of like mousetrap style combinations of traps? That's kind of up to you to decide how you want to play it out.
So do you have a specific style that you typically build in, or do you just go in and say, okay, I'm going to build this specific way, and like you have a set like routine that you do for building?
It all depends on the difficulty. It depends on the difficulty. It depends on what types of creatures. Like if we have artillery coming in, it depends on the environment. Like if there's a big body of water, like I might build with an open area facing the water because I know it's a little bit more difficult for them to get through water to get to my base. So it really depends on the factors that are involved. But like I always start with kind of like a basic cube. I always build stairs on a second floor. I always have like a sniper tower.
Right.
Because I know I'm always going to be doing some distance-based shooting, right? So that's how I play. That's like my play style. So that's my setup.
So during OT1, I think it was kind of like known that if I got into a game, there was going to be a pyramid. So it kind of just became this thing where it was like, okay, I'm going to be the constructor. We're going to talk about today. And as soon as I get into the game, it's like, okay, guys, find the gate. Okay, you guys found it. All right, pyramid time every single time.
Yep, lots of pyramids. Like, especially with the artillery-based dudes, like there's a type of creature that actually throws husks onto the top of the roof of your base, and so depending on the steepness of your roof, that can help be a good strategy as well to prevent them from landing on top of your base and like destroying it through the top down into it. So it's
it
a
also
good
seemed like it was a little easier to navigate around the top. Like you can just run in a circle around the pyramid and kind of be sniping from a distance.
Yep.
So.
And so that last core element is kind of defending. You touched on it a couple times. Can you kind of explain that process a little?
Yeah, well, in Fortnite, you have defense you can do in a lot of different ways, right? You can defend through upgrading your base. So if you have a level 3 constructor, which I know we're going to talk more about the constructor, if you have a leveled up enough constructor, right, that he can max level the base itself. So there's like on that level, how hard is it for the enemies to actually get through the base. There's traps, and so we have lots of different types of traps, the floor traps, the ceiling traps, wall traps. They trap you in spikes, they electrocute the enemies, they do all sorts of stuff as a point of defense. And then you actually have the strategy of how you lay out the base as well to kind of determine how you want to defend, because you start to learn the patterns of the AI and what kinds of things they do, where they go, and then you can try to funnel them into different scenarios.
Okay. So That's kind of like a basic overview of kind of the gameplay gate capture experience.
Yeah.
Before we get to the gameplay, we want to kind of make sure that we establish kind of a conversation. I know this has been kind of one way, but we want to make sure that everyone in the community knows that we want a very highly engaged community, and we're going to be rewarding people for their participation and a lot of things that we've been doing. So we did, the giveaways on Facebook, we did a giveaway on Twitter, Snapchat, we did a whole bunch of places, and we're gonna continue to do giveaways into this online test, but very first one that you guys have to participate in is actually tweeting or sending us a message on Facebook using the hashtag Fortnite Live. And what we're looking for is what you all want and what you're looking forward to in the world of Fortnite. So if you hashtag Fortnite Live, hit us up on Twitter or Facebook, we will be looking at those responses over the course of the next week or so. And then we're going to have some of those responses and stuff read out on the show again. We're going to have another show next week, and we will give those folks codes. So it's a pretty good way to get them into the game and to show us that you guys are very interested in participating. We also wanted to do a character introduction, which I'm going to let Natalie kind of go over.
Yeah, so I was just thinking, more about the constructor. Like, what more in depth can you tell us about the constructor? How does he play? What are his special abilities?
Yeah. So one of our classes, Fortnite is all about building, right? It's all about defense. It's all about gathering resources so you can build cool stuff. And our constructor is like the pivotal role that is played in that. So one of his primary special abilities is he has a thing called a base that you can unlock as you're playing with him. And the base, a big change for OT2 is that any object that's kind of like attached to the vicinity of the base that's in the middle of your fort will then take on special properties depending on what you've unlocked. So maybe those special properties are the ability to, everything costs less when you're building, or it adds more hit points to everything that's attached to it, or it actually does damage to the creatures that come in to that vicinity. So the base is a really cool thing that you can place, and it's really good for the constructor. Constructor, as I mentioned before, can also level things up further than anyone else can.
Yeah.
So if you have a really difficult encounter and
you need those level 3 walls.
Yes, you need those level 3 walls, especially when the artillery comes in, right, and starts smashing things. So the having a leveled up constructor is really, really critical for
which
doing
I
that.
happen to have.
Yes, you do. Yes. And we've also, you're seeing the male constructor here, but we've been working on a female constructor as well.
I cannot wait to see it. I'm like so
She's
stoked.
awesome.
I love playing as the constructor because I generally like to play a support role. So there's lots of goodies in there for that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
So we're about to hop in with the constructor.
We are.
Yeah. So you're seeing live gameplay here, right? We'll be moving to live gameplay.
Transition to live gameplay. And Natalie's actually playing on her constructor. And right now we're kind of in a hex on the map of I think this is named the live stream world, where we are playing with some folks from around the studio. We have 2 members of QA and that are helping us out, and we have one of our producers, Dom, also helping us out. So whenever,
just ready up.
Still waiting for
whenever
players
we're
to
ready.
ready up.
One.
Yeah.
All players ready to go.
So each of the this hex style map, the clouds around there open up after you complete a level. So it's kind of
pushing back the storm.
right, and it progressively gets a lot more difficult the closer you get to completing a hex.
Yeah, and I mean, full disclosure, full transparency. Like, we're still working on how the progression works in Fortnite and like what makes the most sense for the game to make it as fun as possible.
Right.
So you can be expecting some changes there too.
Okay.
So right now, the way it works is like the map, the world that you create is procedurally generated, and then the amount of worlds or the amount of tiles that are in there and how difficult they get and the type of loot is all procedurally generated.
Okay.
So you go through and beat the campaign.
So
I already have plenty of resources, but
Yeah. Oh, you've gotten almost maxed out on.
oh, I do.
on
I
wood.
am max, so I can
Max
grab
wood.
that one.
Yeah, you can't even pick it up.
so
So you've got a
What do we
triple
have
gate
here?
capture going. So
Ooh.
you've got 3 gates with atlases on them.
Nice. I haven't actually reached this point in the game normally, so this is going to be my first 3-gate capture.
Oh, okay.
It looks like they're still building a little bit.
So let's take around.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the base. Okay, so we've got
Holy.
a metal tower at one of the atlases. Okay, turn
There's
around.
another one over there.
That one doesn't look very well defended. What's on the other side?
Let's go check.
Is there water on the other side?
Looks
Or is
like
it a
a
cliff?
Looks like
open
there's
cliff.
not really a way for them to
Over.
get up. It couldn't hurt
They'll
to put
find
a
a
few.
way.
Yeah, let's put a few walls up and let
Yeah.
people see what that looks like too.
I would probably use stone or metal.
Yeah. Sorry, wrong key.
So right now they're defending off against the storm, which is kind of what we talked about earlier. On the mini map in the bottom right-hand corner, you can
think you're-
kind of see where the storm is going to be
I would
coming
leave
from.
that open.
And once they activate the gate,
Maybe
the
open on that
storm, the
side.
husks, the enemies will
See if
come
they-
from
see if they
those
can drop down.
spawn areas.
Maybe take a look at the cliff on the left.
Oh.
Yeah, so the purple areas on the mini-map show the
Mm-hmm.
directions of where the enemies could be coming from. Oh, see, that looks
That's
vulnerable.
an opening. Yeah, I'm just going to close it off over here then.
And so you can kind of get a sense of what direction, once you decide to start the defense, you can get a sense of where they're going to come from. And what she's doing is she's trying to find holes in their defense where she can build and prevent the creatures from getting through. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you don't
Close yourself off so
yeah,
you're like unable
exactly.
to get to it.
So that
Yeah.
it's you want to be able to still move, especially in the triple gate capture. I think one of the most critical things is being able to move very easily. Oh, it looks like there's four gates.
No.
I see A, B, C. Oh no, I'm okay. Sorry. I saw East, West.
East,
You
West,
scared
yeah.
me. I was like,
Oh,
wait,
no, letters.
that's a lot. It's like you need to be able to move
Oh,
really
that's not-
quickly.
Right.
This is a ramp right here, so they could totally just walk up here.
Why
They're
did they leave
they
that
might be trying to
open?
funnel. Yeah, they might be trying to funnel.
Yeah, they might be trying
I
to
don't want
funnel
to mess
dudes.
them up.
Well, then
but-
where are the traps? Where are they?
Pinata time,
Talk to us,
gang.
people.
Oh, the pinata.
Pinata! Okay, yeah, get some stuff. So you're seeing is our loot pinata. Fresh off the presses for OT2.
Impact alpaca.
We're not sure what his name
That's what
is
his
yet.
tooltip
He's-
is.
It's the loot
So we're
llama.
calling it the loot llama.
He's the loot llama. And so that's an Outlander ability. They pick up that fragment, they can drop it wherever they please.
I'm gonna let them knock down these walls if they don't want.
But you're
They
building
make me
with
feel-
metal.
they
Metal's
make
hard
me
to
feel
knock.
better to just have these here.
Oh boy.
It's it's an art.
So you can see metal takes a longer time to build because it's the most, has the most hit points.
Yeah.
And so you really have to, if you're deciding to build with metal, the things I always want to make sure to do is if I'm the constructor, I need to talk to my Outlander, talk to my scavengers, find out if they've got a lot of metal so that they can drop it so I can continue to repair any holes. So as the encounter gets started, right, the enemies are taking down your defenses. And so as the constructor, it's your job to make sure that your defenses stay up.
Right.
So if you don't, say someone else starts building the base and they're deciding to build it all out of metal, you don't have any metal, then you can't keep those defenses up. So you need to work with your team and get them to bring you those resources, especially with metal because it takes a longer time to repair, longer time to build.
Right.
Cool. So I also added a trap over here, and that will help us out. Electric trap from the ceiling. So.
I'm looking
All
at your
right.
weapons. It looks like you have a broom. Are you gonna clean up?
Oh.
Yeah, you got
heck
the
yes.
clean
up
sweep.
shop?
Yes. Yes. So this is purple, which means it has to be more awesome than it
very-
actually looks as
it's
just
very
a
rare.
broom. This broom can do some serious damage. So I guess I let these guys know I'm about to start it.
Do they want to start? Are they ready to
Are
start?
they ready?
Well, they better be. Here I come.
Oh boy. So also
Ah.
new to the OT is that you can actually cancel your activation. So if you do it accidentally,
Yeah.
then you can cancel.
Oh, I see.
Nice. It says I'm trying to start. So yeah,
There we go.
they had their chance to stop me.
All right,
Did
you've
you
got 8
upgrade to
minutes.
any level 3 walls?
I can now.
Yeah.
It's not.
You've got lots of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, go through. I would just. So Natalie is just really quickly going through and upgrading his game. I mean, one of the key pillars of Fortnite is that it wasn't enough to just have building. We wanted building to be like an action game. Like,
Right.
what is our version of action building? So that it's not. The purpose is more. It's like more functional because you're using it to combat enemies and create defenses. So you need to be able to do that quickly, right? And so as long as you have the materials and the ability unlocked, you can build it and repair it real fast.
So we have some of the standard husks
Yeah,
coming
you-
up. Looks like
All coming from the west.
So you
There.
can
Oh, it looks like they've already made
they're
it to
actually kind
A.
of coming from a few spots.
I
Oh
know.
no.
I don't know. I saw
I
A
saw
flash.
a bombshell somewhere.
Yeah, A's flashing. So they might be attacking the base near A.
Oh, that's A.
Yeah.
It must be on the other side. See, I did kind of
You
block
should build
myself
that-
a little
that
yeah,
bit.
most
you
of it is
should
that
build
wall.
build a door. Yeah,
On
let
this
them
one.
let them handle those creatures, and you can focus on the base.
I wish you guys were
Yeah,
here
they're at-
every
Oh
time
yeah,
I
there it
play.
is.
They're at
There it
A. They're at
is.
A.
Ah, I'm
Right
gonna
below
get
you.
you.
Oh, get her. There we go.
Oh, I'm gonna get her with a broom. She deserves it.
Oh gosh. Don't die, Natalie. You're
Oh.
too important.
Bacon,
So-
bacon.
Yes. Did you really? Just build some stairs, and you don't have to go around.
That's a good point.
Hit F3.
What
That's
would
the
I
thing-
do without you, Tanya?
I know. Advanced maneuvers. Back it up. There you go.
I know
And then
they're gonna-
destroy the stairs as soon as you build them, because they will follow you up. Then.
Ah, no.
Yes. Another classic Fortnite maneuver.
They're like, thank you for the stairs.
The misadventures of the constructor.
Yeah. So the thing about Fortnite is that all of our AI is calculated on the fly. So that's why when as soon as you place anything, it's all dynamic. So the AI will recalculate and be like, they were going over here, and then you built stairs, and they're like, oh no, I'm gonna use these instead, right? They're always looking for the
Yeah.
quickest path
Eaten.
to the base. Oh, there's the ninja.
He's
Ninja's
helping
coming
me
to your
out
rescue.
finally.
Yeah, get rid of those things. There we go.
All right, we're safe. We're safe. I'm gonna repair some stuff.
Yeah.
I need to put down my base. What am I doing?
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. So I would maybe at B, because B's close to.
I think you just built the door into a wall.
I sure
Yeah.
did. Okay, that's all right. We do that sometimes.
Okay,
So head up
so
to B.
where are you gonna? Oh, there's a little intermission period right now,
You
giving you a
just
chance
blocked
to
my
upgrade.
ramp, I think.
You should just make some stairs again.
Yep.
F3. Oh, there you go. I would destroy the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta cover your tracks always.
And those yellow, I don't think we've talked about this, but those yellow points are kind of like a little mini game to help do better damage when you hit them as you're smacking stuff.
Oh yeah, those are
destroying
like
things.
traditional
forget-
RPG. It's like a weak point. So a
So you think the base
critical
would
hit.
be good right here, like right next to it?
Wherever the most connecting pieces are.
Ah,
I
I'm
think
not sure.
I think your constructor has damage dealt to it, so it might be kind of good to place it more towards A, so that it deals some damage to those.
I don't know. B and C are the only ones that have health lowered. I don't know. I'd put it down here. Here.
Okay, there's lots
There's
of
someone
stuff.
coming.
Let's hurry and do it though, because otherwise.
Place it on a floor. There you go. Woohoo. So now everything that's connected to this piece should be activated by the base.
Oh no! Repair.
Repairs.
Repair.
I need
You
to
might
get
want
out
to
there and
build
help them.
a window.
Yeah, build a window.
Shoot, I upgraded instead.
I know, and then okay. So yeah, you want to build it on the left because you can't shoot them from there.
Sorry, here and here.
Sure.
Why not?
Well, now somebody can access
I
shooting
think
out
getting
front.
hit from behind.
Still this. Still this.
Oh, the ninja went
So
out there and
Thank
got it.
you.
Build a
Thank you,
window.
Ninja.
Build a window so you can get them shoot at them next time.
I'm just trying
So
to get out for now.
the good thing about windows is windows do lower the hit points of your walls, but they allow you access to be able to see out and attack the enemies. So you have to make that trade-off. Like, is it worth it to have a less structurally sound
Yeah.
wall, but then you have
I need
then
a
you
door
can shoot
here.
out.
I've decided. Making an executive call.
Uh,
Oh, it was a bad call.
You can put the door on the right.
You can put further on the right.
Just go back and look at it.
We're on wave. We're actually in an intermission again, so it's an opportunity for them to.
They're looking pretty
let's
good.
do
Oh,
some dancing.
nice.
I gotta join in on this dance party.
But it's an opportunity for them to fix up their base, make any adjustments,
Have a
and
dance
then
party.
the next wave has come along or do a dance party. Yeah.
And looks like you're already being attacked at B. Oh, and they're coming to A.
I wanna use
Where are
my
you guys'
plasma.
traps? I don't see a lot of traps.
That's a good point.
Oh,
There's
nice.
That's my
plasma
plasma.
pulse.
Correct. You remembered the name of it.
I did. That one does like an AoE damage effect for the for the constructor. Place it down in that small area, and anyone that any of the husks that kind of walk up to it are swiftly dealt with.
Oh, you've
you
got
can
your
kind of see
katana
your
out.
Oh, yes.
you can
Oh,
see
this is
your
a bad
Oh,
call for
careful.
him.
Yep. Get away.
you can see your base dealing damage if those husks make it to it. You see that?
You guys only have 2 minutes left. It looks like B is your weak link right now. I would go to B, constructor. I would.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. I would help out over there and let the damage dealers.
And you have a minute and
Oh
43
God, A!
seconds.
You gotta go to A. Gotta go
No,
to A. Gotta go
no.
to A.
Shoot. How do I get back?
Build a door, Nick. Yeah, build a door. Build a door. This
Me
is
in
so
front.
stressful. I can't handle this.
Too
Like-
much pressure.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We put you in this situation.
I'm just gonna help them control the influx. I think they've got it, you know.
But if the
actual-
walls are down, okay.
That's true. That's true. I am a constructor. Look, maybe I shouldn't play the constructor. I clearly just want to melee people.
Uh-oh. A is up. Yeah.
That's the wall.
Oh,
That's the wall.
the trick door. I'm not the best builder. George the builder, not Bob the builder.
Well, we've only got, so we've got less than a minute remaining, so all you need to do is save A.
A.
Go to A, go to A, go to A.
Is this door functional?
So just build a door right
Go to-
there. Just-
Okay.
yeah. So in Fortnite, you can build doors or windows anywhere that you like. It looks like you've got a wall behind that window. Oh no, okay,
I think
good,
we're
you're good.
good.
You go to A,
It's a
there
maze.
you go.
It's a maze.
All right, so I would
just
upgrade
stay here
everything
and-
around here.
So
Upgrade,
to 3.
upgrade level 3. Make sure that all that matters to you right now is making sure this is high enough level. Oh, there's a roof. Can you put a roof there?
No.
F2, hit F2.
And they're attacking you. Right behind you. But you guys only got 20
F2
seconds.
and look up. Oh,
Looks like
that's
it's not a big enough
that's
space.
there you go. Perfect.
They
Upgrade.
might be coming through that stone, that brick wall. Unless they put up a wall behind it.
Oh, C's down. C's going down. C's going down. Oh my God, 5 seconds. No.
So close.
3-gate captures are really hard, though.
So close.
That's okay. There's another chance.
3 seconds left. You guys lost that with 3 seconds left.
Mm-hmm.
Fortnite
So
is
you gotta manage your atlases.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep. Constructor's super important. Oh,
but we can still dance. Celebrate our epic failure.
yeah. Well, that's okay. There's always next time. And now you've got, so your base is still, so even though you've lost, your base is still there. So now you can go through, examine kind of like what the holes were in your strategy and fix them up so that you have better flow of moving from place to place, like doors that don't go into walls.
Ha 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 ha.
And fix up anything that needs to be repaired.
The bases are just so much more complicated when you start getting into multi-gate capture too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like
It's all,
suddenly
it really
you're,
is.
you're
It's all
thinking
about how do you move from place to place, like where is the enemy coming from, like
Yeah.
how are you going to tackle that? And so you can see even with like our most experienced folks playing it, right, it's still not a piece of cake, like, and
Right.
a fully leveled up constructor, right? You got to figure it out, strategize accordingly,
Yes.
communicate with your friends.
I wish that I could communicate with them
It's
right now.
a challenge.
I know, you
All right,
can't
I'm gonna
Instead-
take this. We're gonna back out.
All right, well, good job,
That
Natalie.
was still fun. I had so much fun.
Yeah. Level 20 construct. Oh man, now
Building
they're now
into
they're
walls.
now they're gonna do it without you.
Oh.
Or
oh.
Kale, you gonna play or what are you doing?
I'm backing out.
Oh.
We don't have time to play again.
Yeah, we
no.
can't. We can't.
But
I would love to.
When this stream is over, I still am going to play. I feel like I have to redeem myself.
You have to redeem yourself? Well, maybe next week. Maybe next week you won't.
I don't think they're going to let me play next week. Nice try, though.
Maybe next week.
I'll play next week. That'll be fun.
Okay.
I felt like I had a lot of backseat players, too.
We are.
That's how it goes. in the game of Fortnite.
Yes. When I'm playing at home, there's nobody to scream at me, build a wall!
So before we wrap up the show, we got a couple things we want to mention. First off, we have some questions from that we preceded. We kind of talked to some existing OT 1 members, and they submitted some questions for us to answer. Tanya's going to answer them for us on the stream. The first one is from Hobo King 006. He wants to know, will there be more varied maps over time?
Yep.
The hex that we played was a partially industrial
Yep.
hex, and then there's the forest, and there's some like
There's grasslands.
grassland. So his question is more like, will there be more varied
Yeah.
maps of those types?
Yeah, actually, I mean, the way that we're thinking about Fortnite is that it could be any place, like any place in the world, any place in time. Lots of different types of places that will take the world, and the different types of resources that you might find there, and the different types of loot and the types of things you might build are going to change. So we've got a number of things already in development. So once, like I said, once we get the core of the game really stabilized and really
Right.
good, you'll be seeing that stuff
Okay.
coming out soon. So yeah, absolutely.
The next question is from Neandrew Thal.
Yeah,
I love
which
his
is-
name.
which is a
His
great
name
name.
is so awesome.
I feel like people who play Fortnite all have really great creative
Yes.
names.
We have Edgar Allan Poe, who's
Yeah.
by far best
That's
name
also
I've heard.
good. Yeah.
But he wants to know, Neanderthal wants to know, are cosmetic items a possibility?
Absolutely. So we've been talking about for a while now, working through the design of how are we going to do cosmetic. Like that's absolutely what we want to do for the heroes, so that you can dress them up and have different types of faces and
I can't wait
personalities
for
that
that.
go
It's gonna be
along
great.
with them. Yeah. So that's all being worked on right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last question is from Cooties.
Mm-hmm.
What were some of the most surprising things that we learned from our first online test?
Yeah, I mean, so the first thing that kind of popped to my mind when I thought about this was how interesting it was to me that when we took a look at the forums and saw the thread that had the most comments on it, that people didn't really understand like how card packs fit in with the theme of Fortnite, and that's like the thing that you can buy in our game that gives you lots of resources and schematics and all that
Right.
good stuff. And I thought that was really interesting to see the community thinking about it in that way, and like how can we make that better? And we hear you, and we believe the same thing. Like we have a lot of work to do there to kind of figure out what are the best things that come part of those packs, and we'll have to figure out a better way to have those come through. So thanks guys for bringing that up.
One thing that I would say was the most surprising was like some of the awesome forts that were built.
Yeah.
Just like
Oh,
they're
yeah?
mind blowing to
War
see some
Mono
of
Yeah.
them.
Warlord.
Yeah.
There were some amazing things. I guess it wasn't as surprising because like especially our QA folks, they do the most crazy.
Right.
Like after work, they'll spend hours building these crazy forts. So it was awesome to see the community also
Yes.
doing those things.
Yes, that was great.
Yeah.
For the last little bit of the show, we got a couple things that we want to kind of remind you guys about. If you've not signed up for the Fortnite Alpha, you can do so now over on Fortnite.com. Reserve your name and sign up for the Alpha. You can also, again, try to get into the Alpha by using the hashtag Fortnite Live and answer us either by tweeting us on our official Twitter, which is all kind of below the stream right below. You guys can click on those. It'll take you to those. Or our Facebook. The question is, what are you most looking forward to in Fortnite? What do you guys want to do in the game? And use that hashtag Fortnite Live. The schedule that we have, this was the very first stream. We're going to do another stream next week on Thursday. It'll be at 4 p.m. And then the next week after that, we're also going to have another stream. And we'll update the schedule down in the lower portion of the Twitch page. We'll also have it probably posted somewhere on the forums and on the website itself. So we hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Tanya, thank you for coming on. It was
Yes. Thank you for
fantastic.
having me. And on this beautiful
New
set that we
set.
have
I know.
here.
This is awesome.
Can I
know.
take these with me?
The chocolates.
chocolates?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I didn't need to finish my chocolate, by the way.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Chocolate.
Although I do feel like I did miss the purple memo.
Oh,
I know. I'm not wearing the purple.
you
That's
gotta
okay.
You did.
be. You gotta be in the
It's okay.
Fortnite color scheme.
I know. Missed my opportunity.
So last thing is there's some codes. Raxzilla and Flack were in the chat. Raxzilla's going to drop some codes for you, and we're out, basically.
Peace.
Alright.
See you guys next week.
Bye, guys.